Hey guys, welcome to my channel Miss Recap. Today I'm going to explain you a supernatural horror movie, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Ed and Lorraine are demonologists. One day, they are invited to perform an exorcism for an 8-year-old boy called David, who is possessed by a demon and has lost consciousness. Ed and Lorraine hold David on a table with the help of his family. After Father Gordon is knocked over by the demon, Ed takes over him and continues the exorcism. David's body twisted horribly under the demon's force and breaks free. David sweats at Ed and holds him down, hitting him hard at his heart. Seeing her husband in great danger, Lauren rushes to help. Suddenly she flashes and the headache renders her frozen. Just then, Arnie, David's sister's boyfriend, pulls David away from Ed and begs the demon to enter his body and spare David. The demon then transports to Arnie's body and everything calms down. However, for Ed and Lauren, this is just the beginning of the nightmare. Ed is taken to hospital because of a heart attack caused by the demon. Due to timely rescue, he is out of danger. Arnie also recovers and the family goes back to a normal life. Arnie proposes to David's sister and hopes she can leave this place and start a new life with him. However, not long after, odd things start to happen. One day, Arnie notices a box on the shelf move by itself and falls to the floor. Arnie goes up to check. A mouse running out of the box startles him. He follows the mouse to a hole in a door. He looks into the door and finds nothing. When he turns around, the demon appears right in front of him and grabs him. Arnie is scared, collapses to the ground. Days later, Arnie is cutting tree branches on a tree. The demon appears again behind him by the window. Arnie senses something is not right. He turns his head back slowly but sees nothing. Suddenly, the saw in his hand turns on by itself and nearly cuts him. Disturbed, Arnie finishes his work early and goes home. In the meantime, Ed wakes up at the hospital. He tells Lorraine that the demon remains in Arnie's body. Lorraine hurries to call Arnie, who is having a party with his friends, and does not hear the ring because of the loud music. Arnie washes his face with cold water to wake himself up. The next minute, he hears his girlfriend scream and sees her being attacked by his friend. He grabs her hand and tries to run away. However, this is just his vision. Arnie falls and the world becomes dark. He stabs his friend to death that he thinks is the demon. Soon, the police arrive. Arnie is seen walking on the street like a dead-alike person, covering in blood. The police stop him and take him to the police station. Ed and Lauren visit Arnie after he is arrested. They are surprised to find that the demon is not inside Arnie's body. It seems the demon was summoned during that time. Arnie is accused of murder, even though he did it when he was possessed. Ed and Lauren decide to help Arnie, so they meet his lawyer who thinks Arnie cannot get away with it because all the evidence shows he is the murderer. To convince the lawyer, Ed and Lauren invites her to their home for dinner and shows her the past cases of exorcism. During the trial, the lawyer claims demonic possession as a defense. Everything, including the judge, finds it unbelievable and ridiculous. After the trial, the lawyer brings a piece of bad news to Ed and Lauren that Arnie is going for the death penalty. To save Arnie, they need more evidence to prove he is innocent. Ed and Lauren decides to go through the recordings of exorcism to see if they can find anything that can prove that demonic possession is real. They learn what happened to David after studying the recordings. On the day when David's family moved into the house, David found a water bed in one room. He could not help but play on the bed. While he was laying on the bed, the demon showed its face beneath the bed for a second. David sensed something was wrong, so he sat up immediately. The demon grabbed his hand before he could get off the bed and tried to pull him towards into water. His family heard his scream and came to check on him. David told them what happened, but they didn't believe it. Ed and Lauren comes to the house and finds some water marks under a carpet. Ed knows immediately that this is not caused by water because Ed is not so mobile. Lauren goes under the house to see if she can find anything. Lauren crawls down there slowly with a torch in her hands. A mouse running by startles her, sending some chilling hormones down her spine. She continues when she comes down. Soon, she notices something unusual. Right beneath the water stain, there is something plastic film. She lifts the film and sees lots of mice and a sack. She opens the sack with cautiousness. and is surprised to see a goat head ornament that is often used for cult ceremonies. She takes some pictures and shows them to David's sister, explaining that goat head ornament is a witch's totem used by Satanists in their rituals. They are now sure that David was cursed and the curse is transferred to Arnie during the exorcism. The demon stayed inside Arnie's body until he killed someone. They believe someone summoned the demon and cursed Arnie. Ed asks his assistant to mail the evidence to every police station and see if they have seen anything like that. The pictures reminds them of the former priest, who might be able to help. Soon, Ed and Lauren drive to meet the priest, who has studied totems like that for many years. As soon as the priest sees the pictures of the totem, he knows what is going on. To tell them more about the totem, the priest leads them to the basement. While they are on the stairs, Lauren has a horrible feeling about the basement, but she still follows the priest. They walk into the basement, which is full of different books and rare sacrifices. The priest tells them that Satanists worship Satan and his demon with blood sacrifice, and they blaspheme the gods with absence rituals. Years ago, there was a trial of disciples. After the disciples were found guilty, the judge's baby was born early with its heart outside of the body. Months later, the judge's wife kills herself by laying on a railway track. The priests hope they understand it will cost a lot to stand against a Satanist. While Ed and Lauren are doing research, the curse targeted on Arnie continues. Arnie is mopping the cell. Suddenly, the bucket is knocked over for no reason. Arnie tries to get the bucket, but it is dragged by something under the bed. Arnie is startled and stands up quickly. Just then, his roommate starts to murmur something. While Arnie is trying to figure out what he is saying, the demon appears and grabs Arnie's face from behind, which nearly scares him to death. Not long after, the assistant finds some useful information. A detective found the same totem at the crime scene involving two girls. Ed thinks the girl who was stabbed was possessed, but the detective does not believe that smelly bullshit. Lauren offers to help look for the missing girl. In exchange, they need to see the case file to convince the detective that she has psychic powers and can be useful. Lauren picks out the exact weapon that was used on the dead girl from 3 weapons on the table. Later, the detective takes Ed and Lauren to the place where the girl was killed. Lauren uses the psychic power to recreate the murder. A hand suddenly appears from behind a tree, and the next second, the girls run out. While the girls are exchanging gifts, one of them suddenly gets possessed and stabs the other girl with a knife. After that, the murderer drops the knife and runs away. Lauren follows the girls to a cliff and sees her jumping off. Lauren is dragged down by the demon, but luckily she is pulled up by Ed, who follows her. Later, the police find another girl's body under the cliff. The detective is thankful and promises he will send the case file to them tomorrow. Ed and Lauren go back to the hotel and receive a call from David's sister, who visited Arnie and was told that the demon haunted Arnie in the prison and told him to kill himself. Ed asked David's sister to contact the priest in the prison immediately. However, what the priest can do is just give Arnie a bottle of holy water. Lauren thinks the demon was summoned. She was something during the night of exorcism. She believes the person who is responsible for this could summon it again at any time. To find more information, Lauren decides to check on the girl's corpse. Lauren touches the girl's hand in the morgue, but she does not sense anything. Before she gives up, she has a vision that a witch is performing a curse on Arnie, who is being manipulated and is going to slice his wrist, killing himself. Just then, Lauren lets out a scream and interrupts the ritual. Lauren senses that the connection is two-way, which means that witch knows her existence via the connection. The witch then controls a corpse in the morgue to attack Lauren. Ed asks Lauren to stop the connection. However, she can't hear him. Before the corpse reaches Lauren, Ed pulls Lauren away, breaking the connection. As a result, the witch loses control of the corpse. After that, Ed and Lauren returns to their house. The assistant finds a book in which the church recorded how to identify and persecute witchcraft and the ceremony of a human sacrifice. The only way to lift the curse is to destroy the altar where the witch operates the curse. What they need to do now is to locate the witch. Lauren tries to recall the place she saw the witch. It was in a room whose roof was leaking. She also heard a train nearby. Ed deduces that the witch is related to David and the girl who was killed. Ed stands up and faints. When he wakes up, there is nobody around him. Ed looks for Lauren in the house and sees some marks of fighting and her bracelet on the floor. He knows something happened. Suddenly, the witch appears behind him, telling him that they are very close to the truth. Having said that, the witch disappears and an animated corpse runs towards him. Ed escapes the corpse and uses a cross to expel him. When he is about to stab the corpse with a knife, he is stopped by his assistant. He then realizes it is a hallucination. It turns out that he is influenced by the curse. He searches everywhere and finds a totem in a vase. They need to find the altar and lift the curse as soon as possible. To save time, they take action separately. David's sister stays with Arnie in the hospital with her father. Ed continues to find the location of the witch. Lauren takes the book to ask for help from the priest. After analyzing the connection of the crime scenes, Ed has a rough idea of where the witch may be, which is near the priest. In the meantime, Lauren arrives at the priest's house and has the book translated with the help of the priest. According to the book, the curse needs 3 victims to be complete, which are the child, the lover, and the man of God, referring to David, Ed, and the girl. The priest also helps to find out who the witch is. Years ago, the priest's wife died in childbirth and the baby survived. The church did not know he had a daughter. He then raised his daughter here secretly. However, his study of the Satanists influenced his daughter, who became obsessed with it. At last, his daughter lost control of herself and turned into the witch, who is behind all these. To protect his daughter, the priest chose to be silent until Lauren came to him. The priest tells Lauren that the altar is in a tunnel under the house. They don't know that while they are talking, the witch is getting close to them. The priest shows Lauren the entrance to the tunnel. As soon as she enters the tunnel, the witch enters the room and kills the priest who is confessing. Lauren finally finds the altar in the dark tunnel. She tries to move the table, but it's too heavy. Just then, the witch approaches her in secret. Lauren senses that through the psychic powers and hides before the witch finds her. In the meantime, Ed arrives at the priest's house. He hears Lauren's cry and tries to break the exit with a hammer to save Lauren. Lauren runs into the tunnel and falls over. When she gets up, she sees herself in the front. Lauren is startled and panics. While she is running, the witch attacks her from behind and pins her down on the ground. She picks up a brick and hits the witch before the witch's knife stabs her. Lauren takes her chance and escapes. Ed gets down into the tunnel but is bewitched. Ed performs a ritual and summons the demon, which possesses Arnie immediately. Arnie's body starts to twist creepily in the evil wind. The father's exorcism does not work on Arnie at all. Arnie floats in the air, holding a shard of glass. His girlfriend stops him before he stabs himself in the throat. In the tunnel, Ed is attacking Lauren. Lauren avoids it and tries to wake Ed up by reminding him of their love. Ed regains his consciousness and destroys the altar with the hammer, lifting all curses and saving Arnie's life. While Ed and Lauren think it is finished, the witch comes from them with a knife. However, the witch is punished by the demon because she fails to complete the curse. The witch's body twists under the force of the demon, and her life is taken by the demon. With the help of Ed and Lauren, Arnie gets away with a death sentence, but he needs to serve 5 years in prison for manslaughter. In the end scene, Ed and Lauren are kissing in the front of pavilion, celebrating their undying love. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching. If you like it, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel.